What's going on, Cypress, Texas? Welcome to Talking Throws Podcast, episode 68 of season 5. I'm Coach Jason.
And I'm Coach Janelle.
And we are throws coaches with The Throwing Factory. You can check our website out, thethrowingfactory.com. We want to welcome Coach Morgan Knight, former Abilene Christian All-American thrower, to the coaching pool. He'll be running the Knight Power and Performance out of Abilene, Texas. His contact information is on the website, so if you're out in the West Texas area looking for a good coach, whether it's javelin, weight, or hammer, be sure to reach out to Coach Knight off the website. Then also want to thank Coach Kai Smith for his effort and what he's doing for West at the Throwing Factory. He's doing a lot of javelin and multi-athletes. If you're one of those multi-athletes trying to look better in the shot or the javelin and kind of need something to get you over the top, reach out to Coach Kai. His information is on the website as well. And then Coach Jarvis, the man with the discus in his hand, is running east at the Throwing Factory, looking to build a team for the summer, doing a lot of private lessons. So if you're in the Rockwall, East Texas, Tyler, White House area, be sure to reach out to Coach Jarvis, and his information is on the website as well. Remind everybody, too, that you can follow us on our YouTube channel now, and we're seeing a lot of views on that and a lot of thumbs up, so we appreciate the support on YouTube. We want to thank our sponsors for Season 5. Without them, we can't do what we do. Our number one sponsor, we want to thank Stuart Cantor for what he does, Texas Track and Field Coaches Association, ttfca.org, for everything in track and field in the state of Texas. We just got finished with the Texas Relays. Big success, great meet. Stuart's got a lot of information on there about the Texas Relays posted. 4throws.com, quality implements price right. Go to 4throws.com, use the code TalkingThrows10 to get 10% off. That's code TalkingThrows10 to get 10% off. You can find training tools for all 5 implements, javelins. You can find bags, shot puts, for outdoor shot puts. Anything you need in the throwing area, contact 4throws.com and use that code. Porta Circle, making throwing more accessible. Go to porta-circle.com to place your order. Did you know right now, I lost it, that they have a premium line of a 1-inch thicker circle, which allows for more stability and more security. Sometimes, the wind can take up those rings and blow them off. Well, this is a little thicker and a little heavier. So if you're throwing out in a windy, gusty area, whether you're in the yard or a parking lot or something like that, those will seem to be a little bit more suitable and rougher in all types of terrain. So go to Porta-Circle, use that code TalkingThrows10 and get 10% off that Porta-Circle order. Our favorite athletic development, Ready Up Athletic Development, led by Zach Phillips at 512-507-8347. You can follow his on his website at readyupad.com, or follow him on Instagram and Facebook. If you're in the greater Austin area looking for team, little small duets, private powerlifting, Olympic lifting, performance-based, Ready Up Athletic Development is where it's going to be. And then our favorite discus line, Fiber Sports Discus. Welcome to a new way to get the distance. Fiber Sports Discus is designed to take the guesswork out of the discus selection and rim weight. So go to fibersportsdiscus.com and you can check these. Super Spin, Storm, yes. Both of these are 2Ks. So I know a lot of kids have been using them, and even some college kids have been using them and seeing great results and been tremendous. And you can even go order these on the website 4throws.com and use that code, please, for success in the throwing of the discus. So our guest today in episode 68 is on a hot streak. She just got back from indoor nationals in Birmingham, Alabama, where she was a Division I first-team All-American and placing 5th in the indoor shot put while attending Sam Houston State University and throwing for the legendary throws coach from Sam Houston, Mr. John Tipton. I love you, John. She was also the WAC indoor champion for this year for 2022. In 2021, she was the Southland indoor freshman of the year. She has an indoor PR of 1738 meters. She has an outdoor PR of 1693 meters, which I actually think she just maybe broke that yesterday at the Texas Relays for a new outdoor PR, and I maybe even believe it's a new Sam Houston outdoor record as well. She grew up in Cypress, Texas, and she threw for Cypress Lakes High School. She had a high school PR of 47 feet in the shot put and 140 feet 7 inches in the discus. Please welcome to Talk and Throws podcast, episode 68, Miss KeAyla Dove.
All right. Well, thank you for being on. Tell us, when did you get started throwing? How old were you? And was shot put the first thing that you did in track?
So I started shot put when I was 10, but I had played soccer before that for like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So that was fun. But my mom said I was getting a little pudgy, so she put me in a sport that made me run, so she didn't feel bad about telling me to go outside. So that happened, but I still knew I wasn't a runner. Like, I just didn't like running. So I was like, hey, I got to go pick up a ball or something.
Were you a good soccer player? I'm just curious. Would you think you were pretty good at it, even though you were 10?
Yeah. No.
No.
Nah. So the reason why I stopped playing, I got mud kicked in my eye, and I didn't like that. I was a little softer back then. So okay. I got mud kicked in my eye, and I stopped playing because it burned. I was young. Hey. I was like 6, 7, maybe. And then I got into that later on. That's when I picked up all the weight. My mom was like, you got a little pudgy.
I understand. So how were you introduced to shot put at 10 years old? Did she put you in a track club or was there like a summer program she did?
It was a summer program.
Okay.
But it kind of happened. I got pushed into it because my brother wanted to do it. So she found for my brother, but then she was like, I think you should go too. So then I got out there the same day he was trying out. And that's how we got started with. It was Max Velocity. Max Velocity was our first team that me and my brother both competed under. But I just knew I wasn't a runner. I ran, but I didn't run often.
Yeah. And that was going to be my next question. So did they introduce you to do everything running, and then they'll say, okay, then after that, let's go do shot put? Is that kind of how it worked out?
Yeah, I found my way to it. I did a little jump. I did a little jumping.
Okay.
Sprints, and I did the 400. I was doing the long one.
Oh, wow. Okay. You sound like a multi-athlete.
But my heart says no. I could probably do it, but no, it's going to be too hard on me.
You were wise at 10 years old.
Yes. And I remember my first track meet, I got third. And I was like, I think I could do this. I mean, it didn't take much out of me, and it was just enough. So I was like, I think I can do this.
Okay. All right, cool. So at 10 years old, that started it off. Was there a coach at Max Velocity that kind of showed you how to hold the shot put, and were you a shuffler, or just you kind of stand in the front? Kind of how was your technique at 10?
At 10, I was a shuffler.
You were a shuffler.
I was a shuffler. And it was, I did have a coach, her name was Coach Brandy, and she was a good coach. I think she had a daughter too that was doing it at the same time as me. So then I got along with her daughter and everything. But I did start shuffling. I want to get a picture real fast because they have the pictures from 100 years ago.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it a Polaroid from when we were 10?
Oh, no Polaroid. No, it's on Facebook though. It's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did you do anything else? Like, did you try the discus when you got, I guess you couldn't throw
12.
10 or 12.
Or did you do javelin, turbo javelin?
No turbo. I didn't have a coach that could do the turbo, but I did pick up the discus later on.
Okay.
I don't even remember when exactly I picked it up, but
okay.
I did pick it up eventually. Shortly after I picked it up. So yeah, it was fun.
So so that began summer track, and you did like United States track and field and AAU meets and all that stuff?
Yes, I went to the Junior Olympics. I went to the one in Michigan. I went to the one in New Orleans right before Katrina. And I think there was one at Houston at one time.
In Houston. Okay.
So then I think I was All-American one of them. One out of the three.
Gotcha. Okay. So how did that relate to you as you got older, and you go up in the size and you get into junior high, and you were kind of doing the junior high track then? Was that a good experience for you and, in your school district that you were living in?
Yeah, so I went to school in CFIG, so I was in a good district. I was in a good district. And so when I was like, yeah, my mom got pictures of that too. So when because I was doing it since I was 10, like everybody else. So my mom would take a picture of my first meet, and it was just a distinctive difference where everybody else was and where I was. I was like, hey, yeah, I got in where I fit in. That's what happened.
So you knew immediately this was something that you were going to be good at.
I mean, I knew I was good, but at the time, so like my family, they were sprinters. So like not my stepdad, my great uncle, he ran track in San Antonio, and they were doing all the Texas relays for sprinting. Nobody was throwing in our family, at all. They threw a football, but they didn't know nothing about shots. So I was the first one to ever do it in our family. They're like, hey, she seems pretty good at it. She's winning. I mean, keep her in it.
So what did your brother wind up doing in track?
He did the 4, the 8, short sprints, and long jump.
Okay.
So, but then he stopped that and he stopped doing that and started focusing on, because he did track in the summer. Winter, fall, he went into football. Okay. And then spring was basketball. So he was a full time. Wow. I had one time. That was it.
Oh, and that was going to be my next question. When you got to junior high, most girls in junior high want to go out and do volleyball and do the volleyball scene or the basketball scene. Did you even mess with those other two sports?
Yeah, I did. I just had to do something. Once I was like, man, I got to stay in shape at that point, and I just couldn't just sit and watch. So I did volleyball, I did basketball. I was on 18. Both years I was on 18.
Okay.
But my season average for my whole basketball career was 2 points. I was the best defensive player, though. My job was to play defense.
Was those free throws or actually a bucket?
Free throws. I didn't go to the cell. I got ejected a lot because I was just
talking in 7th and 8th grade, right?
You got ejected a lot.
Or I got fouled out.
Okay.
So because I was so used to playing with my brothers so much, so then when I was playing with these girls, I'm like, man, y'all a little soft. So then I got fouls, or I'm like, yeah, you gotta go. Like, I'm sorry.
So you were like like the version of Dennis Rodman in your junior high.
Pretty close.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha. So you get into track your 7th, 8th grade year, you're doing shot and discus. Are you still shuffling, or is there like a junior high coach at the school that's kind of takes you underneath the wing of kind of saying, okay, we need to, work on your technique because you seem like you have a talent for this?
So that's so by the time I got to middle school, I had switched to a glide.
Okay.
So then I took out all the extra step and I did one big step. That's what came after that. So then in middle school, I mean, it's middle school. Yeah. So it was just whatever I remembered at practice. That's what I came back and did at the middle school practice.
Gotcha.
And it got to the point sometimes my coach asked me like, hey, what do you think I should tell her? I'm like, I know enough, but it's hard to teach because I'm trying to learn it myself. I was so young. So, I mean.
Yeah. So were you a student of throwing? Were you looking stuff up on Instagram and on YouTube and trying to educate? Did you have enough aptitude to kind of say, okay, I really want to study this?
No, at that time, internet wasn't just we had phones, but then it was I think I was the beginning group that just got one. I had one of the sliding ones. That was my first phone, the one that slide. I didn't have a touch screen at first. So then, yeah, I was the beginning. My generation was the beginning of phones with stuff like that. And I just trusted whatever my coach said. That's really what.
Gotcha.
That's plan.
You were coachable.
That's what. Yes. I was like, look, I trust my coach because I don't know, and I can't ask my family because they don't know. So I'm like,
because they're sprinters.
They're sprinters.
Gotcha.
But I like the sport enough, so I'm like, if they say do this, I'm gonna try to my best ability to execute it, and that's what I did.
Good. So you're having some success in your freshman year at Cy Lakes. Were you nervous about going into high school and getting to throw, get some older girls at that time?
No, and the only reason
you move up in weight. You go to the 4K, right?
Right.
Okay.
But so mom, if my mom doesn't know anything, she know numbers.
Okay.
So she will always look. So like the year before 8th grade, I think I threw. She would see where I threw them compared to the high school girl. She's like, gotcha. You're not far off at all.
Okay.
But we threw the 6 and then the 8 and the 8.8. She's like, even if you do that, you're gonna adjust pretty fast, but you're not far off.
Okay.
So they knew I was gonna be able to compete. But once I got in there, they didn't know how good I was going to compete. I was like,
gotcha.
That's what happened. And that's always what has me excited. I'm like, I know I'm going to be good. I just don't know how good I'm going to be.
Yeah.
I love that.
Quick. So I'm guessing your family has a lot of influence on your success. And I'm guessing y'all are a really tight-knit family, right?
Yes. Family is everything.
Can you explain what is it about? Exactly. Is it because the parents of your mom and dad? Is it the grandparents that instilled to them? Do y'all just have that tight bond?
Oh, it's everybody. Mom, dad. I have my stepdad, my grandparents. Like so I was blessed enough to have both my grandparents. I have my mom's parents and my dad's parents.
Okay.
They're still I have 4 of them, and they've been there like my whole life.
Okay.
And so there'd be some there's a time where we had to stay with my grandma at one point, but my mom was there and everything just for a situation that we were in. And so I got to live with my grandparents, mom, and they helped us with homework and things like that. And they were always supportive and trying to be there with us as at any event we have. That was the same for my dad's parents, because my biological dad, me and my mom, they're divorced since I was 2, but my dad was always a part of my life. So I mean,
okay, good.
So then his parents, even though they were separated, they still stayed attached. So it's like nothing really happened. So, and that was always cool.
Yeah, that is a blessing to have all that family support. That's awesome.
So who takes credit out of that group to being the most athletic that you're most like?
Actually, I couldn't tell you.
Not a grandma on the background and say she just like me, I'm athletic.
Oh, so they play sports. I give them that. But to the extent of what comparing what I did and what they just didn't do that. They just,
gotcha.
So my grandma, she played softball, but she played it. It wasn't she was just the level that I'm on, but she did. She played. My dad, he played football.
Okay.
And then my grandpa, he played football, and he's in the at Texas Lutheran. They got him in the Hall of Fame, but I was
wow, okay, that's cool.
Track throwing specifically for how I am, I'm one of the small, not small. I'm gonna stop saying small because there's a lot of girls starting to.
You're lean girl throws.
Lean girl, yeah. So for me, it was I didn't really fit in. So I always say at this point, it was a God-given gift that what I'm able to do that's why.
Wow.
Because even in middle school, there was always somebody bigger than me. My mom always said, no matter how big they were, you can compete against them. It was it's not about the size, it's about what you're able to do. And my mom told me that from a young age, because I got intimidated by it, because I never I've never done this. She was it doesn't matter, wait, and then that's what she'll tell me at the end. She's see, I told you, it didn't matter how big they were, it's just about what you're able to do, what's inside of you.
Awesome. Great. That is great. You just more wisdom than I would ever want. Yeah, that I ever have at my age and stuff. So getting back to your throwing your freshman year, you make it to state as a freshman. Okay, and you picking up the discus, and discus, there's a little bit of struggle. I'm looking at your marks, and they're not the best in the world. So do you have a love-hate relationship with the discus? Did it start at early on?
Yes, because I was like, how am I good at shot but not discus? I was like, man, and it was so frustrating because I don't like losing. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
But I was losing. I was like, I don't know. But like even to this day, so like 2 weeks ago, I had a fall in discus. Man, I thought my career was done. Not for discus. I thought my shot put career was done.
Oh, really?
I did. I fell on my hand, so I sprained it just slightly. But I was like, yeah, we're not doing this no more. Discus is
Oh, wow.
I know I can do it, but it's like, nah, it's not what I just.
Yeah. Was that after nationals or before nationals indoor?
After nationals at TSU relays, I opened up only in discus, and I fell on my first throw.
Oh, wow. Okay, we'll have to take.
My head's okay now.
Good. I'll take back the expert legend throws coach that I just said John Tipton was.
Oh man.
for making you do that. So I'm kind of curious because I know you had a relationship with All-American throwers and with Darren Flint and all that type of stuff. How did you get introduced to All-American throwers and Darren and that staff over there? Because that's when your career and your technique started really kind of taking off, right?
I gotta know this. I've never got asked how that story happened.
Okay.
I don't know if he found me or my mom found him.
Oh, really?
And that's always hard because I was just told, hey, I got to practice for you to go to. That's my mom said, I got to practice for you to go to. This is who it is, XYZ. This is where we're going to go. I was like, all right. I always wanted to play.
Okay.
But so Coach Nick, so that's the head guy. That's the head guy. So I don't know if he found, like I said, I don't know if he found me or if we found him.
Gotcha.
But he took me under the wing. I went out and watched his practice, but he was like far. Like I live in like my home is in Katy, Cypress area.
Yeah.
But Coach Nick's practice was like somewhere deep in Houston.
Yeah. Like
so that's how I got so that's how I got introduced to Coach Flint.
Yeah.
Because he was in Cinco Ranch and that was a closer trip for me. And so I went over there with him. So that's how that happened.
Okay.
I'm sure. I know that for a fact, yes.
Yeah, were you familiar with Amelia and kind of her success at an early age, just like you? Did y'all compete at each other? No.
Well, so like when I first met her, it was the first day for all of us.
Oh, okay.
That was my first day meeting Coach Flint, and then it was my first day meeting Amelia.
Wow. Wow. Now, did he start you out in continuing that glide shot put that you were doing, or did he start that rotational with you?
He started the rotation.
Really?
He started the rotation, and that was towards. So like I had got introduced to it by I think it was a coach. I think his last name was First or something. But he had tried to introduce, but then we fell off. So then I went back to the glide. So I did the spin just in enough time to learn it before my freshman year. So I was able to so I was able to go into high school doing it.
Okay.
So I think that's 2017 was about the time or 2016, 2017 was about the time I got into the spin and enough time to do it for high school.
Okay.
So so Darren Flint helped me with that. Yes, he started.
Gotcha. Was that a hard adjustment going from the glide? Because we know that takes a while to master change. How well did you do with that?
It was tough.
It
was tough. I didn't think I was gonna ever get the spin, to be honest, because it was. And then what happened? So I was trying to pick up the spin and learn it, and then I think we didn't have state. And then, so maybe my sophomore year, I actually fell at Rice at a Victor Lopez meet. I fell in discus, but then when I go to do shot, I was like, this just feels different. So somehow I fell pretty bad and I hurt my knee in the process.
Oh wow.
Yes. But my mom didn't believe me that I was hurt because So that's as I'm trying to learn it, I was getting frustrated. I was like, I don't think I can do it. So she was seeing it like, nah, you're not trying to do it no more. But I was like, nah, I think I'm kind of hurt. So it was a mixture of a lot of things. Like, I didn't know if I was really hurt either, but I knew I was in pain, or was I really trying to get out of it? I was like half and half. Okay. My mom stayed on me though. So she was like, no, you're gonna learn that today.
Good.
So were you hurt?
Eventually as I got into college, I ended up having to get an MRI on this knee, and it's uneven. Like my cartilage under my knee looks like this now. It's not smooth.
Oh,
and I have a little fluid sacs on my left knee. So when spinning in the rotational throw, that's hard.
Oh, for sure. So it'll flare up and your knee will get stiff.
That's what happened my freshman year. And when I came in, I didn't know that. Because so going from high school, so let's say I did 2 more years after that, but going into college with changing the intensity of my workout and like how like actually really going in on the spin, my knee swelled up by March. This time last year, my knee was already like swollen. I was losing range of motion and things like that. It was getting real tough on this leg.
Wow. I want to real quick, your freshman year, you go to state, you get 5th place. That had to be an amazing experience as a freshman going to Austin and participating in the state meet. Do you remember that day?
I know I slept the whole way there. On the way to get there, I was
relaxed.
And I do the same thing to this day. Like if we go on like a car ride, I will sleep the moment we'll get like out the neighborhood or wherever the starting point is. I'll be asleep.
You'll be asleep, huh?
Yes.
That is funny. Do you sleep in planes?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh wow, for sure.
That day, I don't know. I know it was hot. Oh my gosh, it was hot. It was so hot.
Really?
Austin was, I don't know why Austin gets as hot as it does. Like I thought Houston was like a hot, but Austin was something different.
Gotcha.
It was fun though. And I do remember they did do a send-off for me at Lakes before I left. And then the coach at the time is Coach Adams. She was from Austin. So like we did like a little trip. We went around Austin. I got to draw on the graffiti wall.
Oh wow!
I did get to do that. I was introduced to Voodoo Donuts for the first time.
Oh, nice!
That was good. Mm-hmm. So I remember everything up to it. I don't remember the comp because it was just hot.
Gotcha.
I was like, hey, but I remember once I got done, Coach Adams was so proud of me. We cried, and I never had a coach cry on me. It was special because I don't think. I think I was Side Lake's first shot putter, just in general, like female shot and everything to do that.
Oh wow, really?
Right, and I think I was the only freshman at that meet. I was the only freshman.
Yeah, you were. Awesome. You remember what you threw? Well, you probably don't remember what you threw. 38.9 3/4. Is
that a PB for that time?
It was a 5th place. No, your PR was 42.2 at the area meet as a freshman, which is a pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
It was too hot in Austin.
That was way above average for there. Yeah. So moving forward to your sophomore year and stuff, you have a lot more confidence. Your numbers seem more consistent. You're moving forward from what you did at that state meet your freshman year. Is starting to click with Darren? Is Coach Adams involved in this training as well? Even your discus is looking better.
So at that time, I was still going to Coach Darren.
Yeah.
But I think that was my last year with Coach Adams. That was my last year with her.
Okay.
And then I think I was just more consistent with the practices with Darren and things like that. Did I spin? I had to. I don't know. Now I have to go look at all the pictures and stuff to see how I started.
Well, I do know that you were kind of going back and forth with experimentation of doing the glide and your shot put. I do know. I remember that.
Right. And if I was spinning the discus, I had to. I don't know. This is different.
All runs together.
It's okay. It totally runs together from that. So junior year, you're starting to get. Are you starting? When did college recruiting start happening for you? And who was the first school that kind of reached out to you? Because your junior year, you went 45.6, and then you went 140 in the discus.
That's pretty good.
I did.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I believe you. We were looking at it.
So I do remember I was playing volleyball. I actually played volleyball in high school.
Okay.
I went back and did it again because Coach Adams was coach. Coach Adams was
okay.
Oh, okay.
And then I played with her team. And then I think the first school I actually got a letter from, I was in a volleyball uniform. It was from Nebraska.
Really?
It was from Nebraska.
Wow, that had to be exciting.
I didn't know. I didn't know the school at the time.
You didn't? You never even heard of it or anything?
No way. No way.
Wow.
But at the time we understood, because I think I signed up with, what's that agency? It's a recruiting NC thing.
Yes, I'm familiar with it. Yes.
Yeah. So I was working with them and stuff like that. So I think after that process, I think that's when they started coming in. I think we started working on it that summer.
Okay.
I think that's how it got started. But that volleyball season, I gotta catch up with all this.
So when did you play volleyball?
I was a middle.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how tall were you then? 5'8"?
The same height I am now, I think. My height has been I don't know how tall I am. I'm supposed to be 5'6". Some people say I'm 5'8". So I'm between there. My driver's license says 5'6" though.
We'll give you 5'8".
5'8",
yeah. 5'8".
5'8".
But
so Nebraska was the first school to reach out to you. Did you at the time think that you could be a high level D1 thrower? Were you thinking that during your junior year?
I honestly didn't know you could go to school for throwing.
Really?
Because so when we did AAU, I understood you just competing when you get to a certain age and you have to stop. I didn't know anything about it, like going into college. My family was you're going to go to school regardless. But track, that was never introduced to me like that.
Wow.
So then when I got a letter for it, I think I was like, hey, okay, I can go to school for this. I can go to school for it. Yeah. So that was a cool thing about it because it was all brand new to all of us. My mom, my dad.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew about it like that.
Yeah.
Especially because shot put, it's not like that event that's advertised. So we see the Olympics, but I never knew the middle process of it. I'm like, okay, well, what are other people doing?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So that was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it was. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's just a really good point that most people even still probably don't realize that you can go to throw. That's just, we get it out there more often, but. So
were you even familiar with what the hammer or weight was or what javelin events were? Were you familiar with any of that?
So I knew javelin because of AAU, but hammer and weight, I was like, I don't know what that is. But, yeah, I found a picture. Look, this is a picture.
Oh, there you go.
There
you go. Awesome.
In 2017. Yeah,
2017. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
So senior year comes around and COVID hits for you.
Yes.
And so in this time you are a big name in the state of Texas, but also nationally for what you've been doing. You threw, I tell you what's been real impressive about you, I always liked, is you seem to throw better in the summer. Because am I right on that? Because you just seem like your success was in the summer meets, and that kind of carried you over, into your high school career. But your marks were pretty good for your summer programs.
Because it was hot. I don't know. For me, so because I always I don't know. I do. So even to this day, I throw better outdoor no matter what. I got good indoor. I got good at indoors somehow. That's insane.
Okay. Indoor marks are better.
I don't know where that came from.
You're a first team All-American now indoor. You better say you like indoor.
and that came out of nowhere because I wasn't expecting that either.
Okay.
Because I've never, so like, when I thought about it, I've never been as close as I was to a PR or like my season's best of last year till like later on.
Gotcha.
So when I came back so my last one was 16-16, I felt like I was going to have to fight to get right back there because sometime over the summer I fall off.
Yeah.
Then I had to regrow again. But when I came back, I was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I didn't know what the season was going to do. I didn't know how far I was going to throw because it started off on the right side and it's never done that for me. I thought I was going to have to rebuild. And I was doing a lot of rehab over the summer too. So it was all a shock. Indoor season was a shock to all of us. I'll just say that. All
right. Cool. We're going to get into that quick at the end, but I got to ask you. So just your senior year, COVID hits. How was your recruiting process and how did you wind up coming to Sam Houston State? And then part two of that, what was your first interaction with Coach Tipton's and your perception of him of that first conversation?
Okay.
There's so many questions there.
he asked a lot of questions at one time.
It's okay. I'm gonna hit him how I heard him.
Okay.
So the process over the summer. So I was at a good stage. So I was talking to Tipton prior because when I did 49.5, I know that for a fact. I called him. I told him, I was like, Coach, I just hit 49.5. So
really?
Yeah. So I was talking. So I had to have been talking to him prior. So I called him right after that. And it was crazy because the meet I was at, I think it was like Fort Bend or something. So the ring was trash. I'll tell you that. The ring was trash. So then when I hit that mark, it was unexpected. So I was calling everybody. I called him, call mom, call my dad. I was like, yo, that's a big mark. And then I come to find out later, that put me at number 1 in Texas and the nation. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah. That's big. That's huge.
So after that, I'm trying to figure out, was I signed by then? I had to have been if I called him.
Yeah.
Because I signed in November.
Oh, you signed. Okay, so you signed in the fall.
I did. So then by the season, my outdoor, I was already signed. I was already signed then.
So did you remember prior to that, maybe in the summer, is that when you did your recruiting trip to Sam Houston? Did you take any other recruiting trips?
So I did visit. I visited Baylor.
Okay.
I did that one. Gosh, you asked a good question. I'm scrolling through Instagram. And
that's okay.
Girl, you're too young to be forgetting all this stuff.
So much has happened.
That's true. That's
so
true.
much. So and I went on a visit. There's a visit from Texas on here. I think I went to Texas.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
But Kiana Lowry's in the picture too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's there now.
Yeah.
Dang, what else did I do that year? So the visit. So I went on a visit in October 13th, 2019. I was at Sam. This is a picture.
Gotcha.
Okay. There you are.
All right. So there's a quite difference between Texas, Baylor, and Sam Houston, in a whole lot of different situations.
Yeah.
So kind of walk us through, was Sam Houston a decision that your family made together, or is it some kind of, you just felt more comfortable there? Kind of what was it that made you pick Sam Houston over Texas or Baylor?
It was Coach Tipton.
Coach Tipton.
Because I understood no matter where I go, even like big or small, my name is attached to whatever I do. So if I'm going to be good, it's still going to, no matter what, it'll still come back. KeAyla Dove did this. She attended Sam Houston or Baylor. I just attended the school at that point. So it didn't matter to me if I was at a big school.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if I'm gonna be here for as long as I am, I gotta like the coach.
Gotcha.
And so if I feel like it was Coach Tipton made it feel like it was gonna be easier to transition because it wasn't always track talk with him. We had regular everyday conversations. So then it was just easier and it was more comforting to to leave, like even just going from home. Cause I mean, I've been with my mom my whole life, and that's all I'm like. Basically, my family was all I knew.
Yeah.
Like, I had like friends and stuff like that. So leaving to go to Huntsville, I don't even have people in Huntsville. So even though I'm like close, but I mean, I just wouldn't be going back and forth because of how the training and stuff is.
Yeah.
But being around Tipton made it easier, and like getting that relationship built up to be like, if I did just need to just talk to him like as just a regular, if I needed to talk to him just as a person, I knew I could.
Sort of like a big brother or maybe even a dad.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that's what like I like so much about this, like just being underneath him, because he's not just a coach. And so we can talk about like, if I have things going on, I can talk to him. Awesome. And if it's like family stuff, I can talk to him like, damn, I didn't have to, now you're gonna get me emotional. But but yeah, like, and I just felt like I needed that because like family is important to me.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be far away, I mean, I better have some system up here.
Yeah.
And he definitely made that like made that for me. Not like just like literally for me, but
because I'll admit, you know, I from an outsider kind of looking in and knowing who you were, when you chose Sam Houston over Texas and Baylor, you're just like, why did she do that? You know, because you know most people, you know, we want D1, we want Power 5, we want to go with all the glitz and the glamour, and I want to do all this, but you kind of went against that norm, you know, and I applaud you for that because you went where you felt was comfortable with the best coach for you and your family, and you obviously made the right decision. So, you know, be proud of what you did for sure.
Yeah. And that it's about the relationships. I love how you said that. It's not matter what school you're attached to, it's still your name. Now, wherever you go. That's all. Did your mom, was that you or was that mom telling you that? Or was that?
She instilled it in me, but I had to be able to like understand it for myself. Cause I mean, like kids are stubborn. I'll just be honest, kids are stubborn.
Yes.
So you can hear your parents say something, but like, are you gonna take it in and understand it like for what it is and make it mean something to you? So when I made it mean something for me, I was like, yeah, this is what I have to do, because it's just and it's like in the sport that I'm in, I had nobody else that could do it. So I mean, I have to trust the process with somebody I can be comfortable with. And if I'm always uncomfortable, I can never trust them.
Gotcha.
And so that's what made it so much easier to do that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so you're going into your freshman year indoor. Man, I remember, you know, hearing that you were throwing 52, 53 feet your freshman year at Sam Houston, and you're like, wow, that's a huge jump. You know, from 45, 44 consistently for you, besides that one big mark, that's their 6 or 7 foot PR for you getting under John. Do you kind of know how that happened? Was it a change in technique or what? No.
I'll definitely say technique. Like, I'll definitely say that. I would never technique did change. Even if it was like the slightest change, it was a big enough change, because I mean, it was just trusting what he's saying just makes everything easier.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so if he's saying to do this, I mean, I just have to do it. Gotcha. And so knowing, and like, I'm uncomfortable. Like, I am comfortable with failing. He brings that up too. He's like, failure is not a bad thing. You gotta be uncomfortable even when you fail. I think something like that. Something like that. So even if it didn't work out, we know what it didn't work out. Now we can build off of that. And if it does work out, then we can still build off of it. It's never just truly a failure.
Hi, my name is Meredith McGee, and my father is the founder of Porta Circle. We created Porta Circle in order to make throwing more accessible so that you can truly train anywhere. Growing up in Rochester, weather was often a roadblock toward training, and having the Porta Circle was a lifesaver for both the indoor and outdoor season. Circles start at $149 and go to our website to learn more. www.porta-circle.com. Porta Circle, making training convenient.
Now, talk about your technique sometime, because it is a little unorthodox in that rotational. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree. Like, I didn't know it was unorthodox. Like when you asked me at the beginning, was I looking at other throwers? No, I wasn't.
You wasn't? Okay.
Because
That's a good point.
When I did try and look at somebody, nobody looked like me at this
Exactly.
point. Nobody looked. So, like, when I was gliding, I idolized Michelle Carter.
Uh-huh.
But even still, I was like, man, I don't want to be that big. Nothing against it. I don't like, for me, I wasn't comfortable. Like, if I had to throw as far as her, I couldn't because I wasn't comfortable with getting that size. So then I still looked up to her because she still had like great morals and everything and stuff like that. But then when I got to spinning, I don't think I found a female that I actually looked at. I was looking at Ryan Krauser actually.
Okay.
Because he was a leaner thrower in the spin.
Yeah.
So I stumbled upon a Kovacs, but I'm like, man, that's just not me. I'm just not that size. So then that's what made me be head on Krauser's throw. But I didn't understand it enough. Like, I can see it, but I don't understand technical. Like, I can see somebody, I gotta understand why is he doing that. So really? At practice, like, I ask so many questions. And like Coach said, I'm asking the same question, but like to me, I'm asking multiple different questions. So then that's just what it was. So like looking at him, I can't just look. I gotta understand why is he doing this? Why is his leg so far out? Why does he take so long out the back and stuff like that?
Yeah,
he was able to tell me in certain aspects of his throw, like why he does it. So then when I'm able to feel a throw, that's when my throw actually starts excelling. When I'm able to feel each part of it, and so because I know a throw is bad, and you can see it in like my demeanor. I'm like, man, this throw is bad.
Yeah,
and I can go back and tell Tipton, I know what part it was. I fell in the back or in the middle. I crashed, or if my left was too late. I can feel that stuff more than I can understand a technical cue.
So you're real big on feeling then.
Yes.
Huge. So going with that, your best attribute is that big long push on the ball. You know that, right?
Right.
Where did that come from? Was that something just at an early age? Did you always have that big, long, just explosive push?
Yeah, but I think
just God-given.
Yes. No, really, because I mean, you couldn't even because I used to work with a group, like a big old group, but I mean, it was always something different. But I mean, I couldn't just tell because I mean, I'm just throwing it. But a delayed strike is what Tipton, that's what Tipton calls it. You have a long delayed strike. I'm like, I don't know what that is. Like, okay. Yeah, but it works out. It works out. So then, and that's when we can tell, like you can see on certain throws when I'm too far out, like I'll start separating, but that strike is still like out there. Yeah. But we're working on that now.
You've thrown a lot of balls outside that right sector line. Yes.
Yes, I have. And I don't let me be excited. Oh, I'm pushing it. Yes. But I'm learning lately, I'm starting this season in general, I've been going better in the middle or left. But now as I've understood later these past 2 weeks, even at nationals, I separated off with the throw. I still actually. So the first throw, the 1739 throw, I still separated. I didn't actually finish across my body.
You didn't finish across?
No.
So you one thing that's big difference too, as I'm sure you would acknowledge this, is you are a lot more active and have a much better left arm in the throw, right?
Yes, because my left arm is key. We've realized because sometimes in the throw I can wrap so far and I've hit my wrist on my elbows. Yeah. If I bring it back tight enough. But if it falls, I'm gonna pull off. It makes it, if I'm not here, I'm done. The throw it's gonna be a solid throw because of how close it is. But if I'm below my elbow, it's just something different. It's just not the same hit. It's not the same punch.
Yeah. Great. And that's what, hey, it doesn't matter how it begins or if it's unorthodox, you could do a backflip. As long as you hit that push and go as far as it goes, hey, sign you up.
Yes, sir. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
For sure. Was your freshman year at Sam Houston a big transition from being away from your mom and family, and now you're a college athlete? I'm sure you probably had a roommate at the time. How was that? And how was that transition living with somebody?
How was it actually? It wasn't like terrible because I was rooming with a sprinter.
Okay.
Like, we kept to ourselves.
Okay.
Like we always acknowledged each other. We said goodbye. We made sure things was locked up and stuff like that. But like we didn't really I didn't just get in her way or stuff like that. And like I generally stayed in my room or in or my friends' rooms and stuff like that. But then I went back. I mean, I tried to keep it as normal as possible because at home it's kind of similar to that. It's where like we tend to go in our corners, like just what it is. And when we just want to like interact with each other, we do. And so that's okay with me being like separate and knowing that I can always call them. My family was always able to answer a phone call. So it wasn't crazy or nothing. Just it was something to get used to because I guess I never had so much time just to myself.
Oh.
That was the hardest thing for me, like knowing like, oh, I know my mom, I'm gonna be able to talk to my mom at this time of the day, or my brother, I'm gonna see my brother at this time of the day. But I never just realized, I never experienced how much of just me and how much more time I have just me and my thoughts.
Gotcha.
And that was like that was one of the hardest things for me because I never just had time to just process like or just how I feel in general. I didn't have a lot I didn't just do that a lot because I would occupy it with something else. But being away from that, it literally made me have to. Like,
gotcha. So do you like keep a diary? Do you write your thought journal or something like that? Do you do that type of stuff?
I call my mom.
You call your mom. Okay, I was just kind of curious.
I call my mom. I call my dad.
Okay.
In my freshman year, I had a teammate, Rachel. She introduced me to Second Baptist, and I went to church with her. Then we were doing that. Went to Bible study together. So then I was able to I was baptized before I got to school and everything. But then I was able to really define my relationship with Christ in my own way. So I didn't give my mom my diary. I was always I prayed more because as I was learning, I understood certain things, and it's understanding I couldn't do things by myself. There was a sermon like that. You can't always do things by yourself. It's not this your life is not your own, and that's God died for you because He cared and loved about you, and things like that. So then I realized my talent is there. I understood there's not a lot of people that look like me, and it's not me, but in my size and stuff like that. It was just I was the anomaly, and it was what I do is special. I understood what I am doing is special, and that it is God given for my gift, and I have to be able to once I understood that, I was able to build that relationship with God the Father. He's that person, and I have to be able to and I took that to heart, and I just prayed. Praying helped me get through a lot.
Awesome.
Right? And I don't know, I don't know, but yeah, building that relationship really helped me a lot.
Good.
I don't know where I would be. I don't know where I would be without them.
Amen to that.
That is awesome. That's awesome. So what are you studying there at Sam Houston? What's your degree going to be in? What is it?
What is it?
Kinesiology.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So do you want to go teach and coach? Is that the aspirations, or you want to be the throws coach at Sam Houston after John gets let go?
No way. I think me and Tiffany gonna go a long way.
Good.
A long way. If I had, I would go back and coach, and I would go coach middle school, basically to just show girls that you can still girls can be athletic and you can still be feminine. It's okay to do that.
No.
And I'm like, just to like encourage them. Like I did what I did, and I wasn't ashamed of what I did. Like, oh, you're strong. You lift as much as a guy. No, I'm a strong female. Like, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, and I would just show them like you can be strong in yourself, and showing like you don't have to like. You don't have to put yourself in those outlets that can tear you down. Like you can be strong, independent in yourself, and you still be comfortable in yourself. And if you want to lift weights, you can lift weights. If you want to have muscles, you can have muscles and stuff like that.
Cool.
Good for you. Wow.
Awesome. That is so you freshman year, you're starting to see those big numbers and stuff like that. You know, let's talk about what's going on right now, because you've had a tremendous 2022. Is there something, you know, did you go home for the summer? Did you do extra weight training? Did you do more throwing on on your own? Because summer, I say that because summer's always kind of been part of your throwing regimen since you were 10 years old.
Right. When I went home, I went to work, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Went to work. And then at the beginning, I started with one job. By the end of summer, I ended with two. And I ended up working at Walmart. That was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Or that trampoline park and at Walmart. I mean, I just like working. I couldn't be at home just sitting. Like, I would go work out in the morning, and then I'll go do my trampoline job, and then the next day maybe I'm at Walmart. But I just couldn't be at home. I need to do something.
Oh, wow. Were you still trying to throw during the summer as well?
I did, and I did my rehab a lot. That's when, like, this was the first summer so I did the program, but I had to dial it back so I can aid to my knee.
Okay.
My summer was more of a rehab summer, but it actually set me up a lot better when I came back with my numbers. My numbers were actually better, even when doing just rehab training with lighter weight.
Oh, really?
Right. So like what I did, I had I had rehab lower leg, but I was on a regular program with my arms, like my upper body. So like I didn't have to like do less weight or less rep on my upper body, but I had to on my lower to aid this knee, and my knee's been a lot better.
Was this your first time as just overall thrower being introduced to weightlifting? Did you get much weightlifting at, high school and stuff?
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did, because by the end of my career, by the end of high school, I was actually working with the football coach.
So really? Okay.
Yeah, so that was so whatever he said, Coach Hicks, exactly. It didn't matter what he understood. He understood what I have inside of me, and he understood like she's not like everybody else, so she doesn't need to do everything just like everybody just because she's the only female and she's the thrower. No, she needs something that's gonna prepare her for her event. Because like I used to in the fall in high school, I was running with the sprinters, so like I was doing the runners workout.
Oh, wow.
And I had my fastest mile in high school was a 7:35. So I was running. I was running a lot.
Well, let's go back to max velocity when you ran.
Yeah. But in the summer, like I didn't like a summer before too. If I wasn't like at SAC camp, I used to run a mile or a mile and a half every day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just to run and just do something.
Okay, good.
That was
good for you.
I don't mind, like, because I understood if this is what I'm gonna do, I gotta make sure I'm in shape to do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm on my people.
Yeah, I know a lot of people 6 throws, especially if you in high school where you might do, shot and disc the same back-to-backs, 12 throws. It can be pretty to kill you. It can be a lot of energy just taken away from you for sure.
It is. But and that was the other thing. I think even with me running the mile, I just had a lot more endurance, even with throwing. I might not running is with your legs, but building that endurance, I was able to throw a lot longer because I was able to maintain.
Great point.
So I'll never tell nobody you don't have to run like long distance.
Gotcha.
If it builds your endurance, I mean, you don't have to go you don't have to say like, oh, I'm trying to run this fast. Just do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
So, it worked for me.
So this year, y'all, Sam Houston's left the Southland. Y'all moved into the WAC. You're the WAC champion in indoor shot put. That had to be a tremendous experience for you because that's probably up to that point was maybe your biggest win you know, as a D1 athlete, or even maybe even more than high school, right?
I'll say that.
You can say it.
I'll say that because I still, even on that day, I was going through like emotionally, I was going through a lot that day.
Okay.
So I still wasn't even satisfied when I did. So like they set the mark, but I didn't really just get excited because I felt like I still had so much left. Like it just didn't feel like, oh, I just really hit that throw.
You went over 17 meters, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Dang it. 7.
That's not.
Oh, that's not it.
Yeah.
1702 at whack?
17.2. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So I mean, 1706.
Yes.
I threw it, but then I just walked out the ring. Like I just casually walked. I just still wasn't like satisfied. So I had to understand like winning and losing for me is hard because when I understand I still left something on the table, I'm not satisfied. I just
Gotcha.
I won, yeah. So like once everything was done, like I accepted it, but I still felt like I left so much on the table.
Yeah, you left it in the ring.
And I'm like, and that's like I'm always hard on myself.
Gotcha.
Really
so at that point, did John pull you to the side and say, "Hey, we need to get this mark so you can reach a certain minimum to get into nationals"? Were you even familiar of how that worked and trying to get into nationals and all that? Or were you clueless to that?
I understood like I needed a mark. I needed like 17. At the time it was 1720. It ended up being like crazy after that. So I still knew I understood I still needed like a crazy PR.
Yes.
Basically. And that same thing happened last year for regionals. I went to regionals, yes, but to qualify for nationals, I still needed just another crazy PR.
Yeah.
So then, like, I was competing at a conference, but then it was like it was a repeat of regionals for me because I still needed a big old mark that I just haven't hit yet. And for me, what my marks, so I've never hit with a 4K 17 meters at practice. I'll tell you that right now. I've never done it.
Okay, ever. Wow.
So really? I've never done it. Till this day, even when hitting 1739, I've never done it at practice. So I had to meet my PR. When it's a PR, it's legit. I've never done it ever. I never hit anything further at practice. And I mean, that was the best mark. That's what it is. So when I go, I never know what I can hit. So even when I got to Wichita and was like the last chance meet, I told myself I got to do it in 3. And I ended up, what throw was it? I think it was the second throw. And the throw felt right. And it was at 7. Well, it wasn't 1739. It was 1720
something, I believe.
It was 1720 something. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was like, even at the pre-meet, so it would pre-meet before a meet. I was nowhere close. I don't think I was anywhere close to that, even at a pre-meet.
So walking out of that, when you do hit that 1720 something, what's your reaction? What's John's reaction? Because both of you had to know that, okay, that's going to get me in. Did you know it? What was y'all's reaction?
Once because the throw actually felt right. That was the lucky thing. The throw actually felt right when I did it. Now, if I'll send y'all the video if y'all want to put it in.
Yeah.
I walked out the ring and I went like this because I knew it was actually a good throw.
Okay.
And then after that, I jumped. I was 1726 because I think at the time I only needed like 1710 or something just to get in. But then on the second throw, I go out and hit the 1726. Oh, that's big. That's more than what I needed.
Yeah.
And then,
and also that's a school record too.
Yeah. Yes.
You're already in the Hall of Fame. I hadn't even graduated yet at Sam Houston.
I got so much more to do.
Yeah.
The day, like when that day comes, that's gonna be a long list of stuff to put down.
Good.
Gonna be a long list.
You'll deserve it for sure.
Yeah.
Enjoy it though.
Yeah, that's what Coach said. Always enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Going back to that, me and Coach said, no matter what, is go big or go bigger because we're not going home.
Oh,
because
I like that. Go big
or go bigger.
Or go bigger.
because we're not going home. It was like,
yeah.
Because it was, so we thought, so at the beginning of the year, we always talk about what we think is going to get into, like, make it to national. But the mark was crazy. Everything, it took a lot more. Well, not like a lot more, but it just took more than what we were expecting it to. It's like, man, you just work so hard. I mean, there's no way you can't do it now. Like, there's no way, even if it does go up, you're capable of doing it. And so coach trusted in me enough. My support team trusted in me a lot. And then I was like, man, I got all these people supporting me. I have to. And before that meet, said my prayer. And before me, I normally call my grandpa. My grandpa didn't answer the phone. So that was my first meet, saying the prayer, like saying prayer by myself. And,
awesome.
And that's what I did. That was.
So you got to walk us in detail. You're going to Alabama, okay? You're representing Sam Houston State, and you said earlier that it's the name connecting. It's not the school and all that type of stuff, but. You have to look at the list because it's Olympian Arizona State. It's an Olympian Ohio State. It's a, college junior high All-American Tennessee. It's one after the other, Power 5, then Sam Houston State.
Yes.
Did you?
KeAyla Dove.
Yeah, but did it even register to you of like, who you were going to throw against and what the competition was going to be like?
What hit me was when I found out the order, because I was throwing right after Adelaide.
Were you?
I sure was. I was like, gosh. I was throwing that. No matter who else I was throwing against, I was throwing right after her.
Okay.
That was my biggest thing. I'm like, she just went to the Olympics.
Yes.
The summer before.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing right after her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my thing was, how close do I want to be when our names get put together? How close do I want to be? Do I want to be at the bottom? I want to be closer at the top. So it is, because I knew she was able to throw 1908.
Yeah.
So I'm like, look, even though I haven't hit, I want to see how close I can get to it.
Yeah.
Great.
So
mentality.
That's what I wanted. I understood, like, yeah, Tennessee was there, stuff and like everything like that. But I'm like, even though those people weren't as big as Adelaide, yet I give them what they did. Nobody's Adelaide.
Gotcha.
Adelaide was the one everybody was going after, and I wanted to see how close I was going to get to her.
Awesome. So I have to ask, did you introduce yourself? There's a communication among you and the competitors? Because this is national championship now. And nobody knows who you are or even where Sam Houston State's at.
No. I mean, in the meet, I didn't talk. I was so for me, meets, that's when like I feel like I get so much adrenaline, and I think that's why I just throw so much further. It's because all the adrenaline. So like I told myself, I'm not gonna actually talk to nobody at this meet. I just didn't. So I held it all in to me, myself, and that little 108 diameter ball. So I did. And so I just held it all in. I was like, man, this is for everything. So I mean, I gotta be focused. I'm not here to make friends. I gotta see how close I can get to Adelaide first.
Yeah.
So
and it was the first throw, right?
Yeah, it was.
First throw, 1738.
And like I didn't even know I did that. I didn't even know the mark.
I got a couple of text messages from people. I'm not gonna tell you who, and it was like, she just threw 1738. And I was like, really? Because you were like in third place.
I didn't know. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what place I was in. I didn't know how far that throw was. I just knew I threw after Adelaide. And I was like, I hope that was good. I hope it was good. I just hope it was. I walked out the ring and I wasn't I didn't even have excitement because I still knew I missed something on that throw.
Oh,
so
really?
I still wasn't even excited just to feel like I hit that throw. I missed it. Yeah. And I was like, gosh, I can't miss this ball again. And it was crazy because our freshman year we threw there at a conference meet. So then I had no idea what I threw. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So it was just out. I didn't know to the end what my actual mark was, where I finished.
Oh, really? So John just kind of, he doesn't tell you the marks or anything like that. He just kind of keeps you on the focus at hand.
He said, when I went up to him he said, that's a good start. And I was like, all right, that's all I need. It was a good start. He's okay with it. I'm okay with it. We got 3 more throws. But I mean, I didn't know what it was at all. But the week before, he was like, he actually didn't want me to know because I get too excited after. So like the day I did the 17-20 something at Wichita, I got so excited and I couldn't get back into the group because that's just how I am. I just get too excited and I lose it. So he didn't tell me. So he knew it, but I didn't know till the end. He didn't tell me till the end.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So were you familiar with, if you make the finals, you're an All-American, your first team. If you don't make the finals, you're a second team and all that. Were you familiar with that and how that worked?
Yes.
Yeah. So you knew. So once you made the finals and you were the top 9, you were like, I'm a first team All-American.
I knew once I walked, like once it was all done.
Oh, you
because
did?
I was still so in shock. Like because the competition was still going. So then it was like, man, do I want to be top 3 or I just want to be an All-American? Like that's what my coach said. We was like, either you just want to be an All-American or you want to be top 3. It was like different things. It's like, how much on the level do you want to be? Where do you want to be on the level of it? I was like, man, I want to be top 3. That's what I was trying. I was so trying.
Yeah. Well, you were. I think you were even in 4th until the last throw in the last round, I believe. And then somebody passed, and then that girl, I don't even remember who was 4th, but they passed you up on that throw, I believe.
It was Tennessee. No, I knew Tennessee through 18. I knew she threw 18. I was like, man, I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
So I knew she passed me, but I still never knew where I stood.
Yeah.
So
were you familiar with, because she's pretty well known from a world and being a great world thrower. Were you familiar with Van Klinken and what she was able to do as a discus thrower? Because she wound up winning at first place and going 63 feet, but her legend as a youth thrower is off the charts.
The girl that won?
Yeah, from Arizona State. Yeah, from Arizona State.
Man, she threw my ball. I know that for a fact.
What?
She was throwing my ball.
She was?
She sure was. She said hers got impounded, but she was throwing my ball.
Wait, hold on. Hers got impounded, so she was throwing yours.
Yeah. She was throwing my ball. But I knew nothing about her. I knew nothing about it because I was so focused on Adelaide. Like, so when she won, it came out of the blue. But I was like, yeah, she was throwing my ball.
Well, hey, there's a little piece of you then. That's a national championship. You should,
I'm like, hey, we did it together. I know that.
Hey, maybe that'll rub off on you this year or next year.
Yeah, I was like, she's still like 1923.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I could do the same thing. It's my ball.
That's right.
There you go. There you go. But, did you have like, look how far you've came and where you've come from, traveling up there into that moments and stuff? Because what a great throwing story you have, from all the stuff that you did in high school, but it was kind of just on natural ability to, oh my God, I'm on the big stage now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I mean, and I've for me, I never talk about it. Just in the setup of my room, none of my track stuff is actually out.
Oh.
All my track stuff is actually in my closet. Like, it sits in my closet. It's hanging up on the wall. But you'll never know it for just in my, if you just met me, you wouldn't know I was actually an athlete. And so
you don't look, you're lean.
That too, and especially a thrower. On the day before, one of the guys that was working the event, they're like, what event? What are you running? I was like, huh? I'm not a runner. I had to tell him, I was like, I'm not a runner. I'm a thrower. He's like, really? I was like, oh, but good luck to you. I was like, damn. All right, what's that?
I run the mile.
I could have said so. Yeah, crazy. But I never like to put the attention on myself. So I mean, to think about what I've done. I mean, I really don't. Coach, most of the time, Tipton has to come back and tell me, like, Key, you actually did pretty good, and this is what you've done. Look at where you've gone. And I'm like, I'd be so stuck on. I had so much more to do.
Yeah.
But Tipton helps me. Tipton and my family, not just. They help me put it in perspective. Key, you've done a lot.
Yeah.
And I'd be so I'm like, man, I left so much on the table. But nah, you did a lot.
Yeah. What was the reception like when you got back to Huntsville and, your teammates and the students and all that after that national meet?
So by that, we're in spring break.
Yeah.
And they took us to get groceries. And there was a lot of congratulations. And I'm just not like, I was accepting of it, but it was a lot of like congratulating. They were very congratulating about it. And they were all very proud. I think they posted about it, and I was getting all these text messages and stuff. I'm trying to reply to everybody and stuff like that. But it still didn't like hit me. Like, it didn't hit me till like it was all said and done. I came back, was like actually just sitting in my room, just like looking at the trophy, and I was like, yeah, this happened. And then I knew I was just getting back into training for TSU later on in the week.
Yeah.
So I just knew I was
Discus training.
yeah. No. All right, man. So I mean, it settled in once everything was done. I had just about the whole week to just look at like that actually happened. That was a legit thing that happened. But I'm glad that I'm a part of the team that I'm a part of and with the team that I'm surrounded by.
Yeah.
Because
y'all got a great throwing team. Kevin's there as a freshman.
Yeah.
The girl from the Valley. Charlie, yes. And then you got Lily that's there as well. Y'all got a good throwing team.
Yes, we do.
That's cool.
Yes, we do. Charlie just PR'd this weekend.
Did she really? Good.
I think in both events too. The hammer. Okay. She did 48 in the hammer and 1430 something.
Yeah.
Something in shot. So
has he not tried to put hammer in your hands?
Oh yeah, we definitely tried it, and then we took it right out. It's just no. And it's just I can't catch it. Like me and my knee just kind of catch it. I can't. It's just okay. I can sure move it though. It's so ugly.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
It's ugly going through the ring, but it go far.
Yeah.
But that's just like this year when I did the weight in indoor, just randomly popped up in that just because.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could do. It's bad on the knees too much.
Gotcha.
I think just having the center of gravity where that weight is right on top of that's no.
Yeah.
My knee said no. My knee said no.
So what was family's response after you getting fifth to that? They just had to be ecstatic. Mom, dad, grandparents, brother.
Yeah. My brother was in Iowa. That's where he used to play football. He wasn't actually there.
Okay.
But my mom, my stepdad, and her parents, basically. I think my mom cried. Nobody has actually said she cried, but when I seen her, she gets like this red tint. I only see my mom cry every so often, so I remember the face when she does. So I think she cried, but she didn't actually do it in front of me.
Have you heard from like Coach Brandy or Coach Adams or anybody from your youth, since you did that?
Yes, Adam. I've heard from Adams.
Your high school football coach?
Yes, Coach Hicks. And all CFISD, the Ray Zapata, the principal, Miss Hardy.
Oh wow.
So I mean, that comes up on Twitter.
Okay.
So even if they didn't they said congratulations and stuff like that. So yeah, the CFISD team, all the sports at my high school, they support. Yeah, congratulations. And then they're always watching. Jesus, they're always watching.
That's a good thing.
It is. It
is a good thing. So.
And then they explain when it's good when you're a good person. Like they see not just as a person that attended the school, but they actually they see you for who you are and stuff like that. And that's why I like CFISD so much. That was a great district.
Good. Awesome. Good. So this past weekend you went to Texas Relays.
Yes.
And all right, talk to me. Are you happy with that performance? You only had 2 legal throws.
I know, right? I didn't even know. I didn't even know, man. They're like, yeah, you only had 2 throws. I was like, really? I had at least 3. But man, Texas Relays, it just lit a fire in me. Now I'm going back to training, and I don't know, they're like, it's not really a loss, but I feel like I lost. Like I was crying after because I was like, man, there's no way I just did what I did today. Because I was like, I felt good and everything. But even with me feeling good, my body's like, we gotta get back in training.
Good.
And so like me and coach talked about it after. I was like, coach, I'm never losing. I told him, I'm like, I'm never losing like that again. I'm just not. So
what was his advice to you then?
He was like, first he had to put it in perspective. He was like, Key, you didn't actually lose. You know, you PR'd for outdoor PR. And so like he did his thing, you know, he didn't just let me have my moment. He was like, no, look, this is what you did. It's actually a good thing. There's nothing bad. You haven't fallen backwards, you know. It's just, this is what it is. You know, it's okay. Now, and then he goes back, now we have to get into training. Like, we understood, like, I think I was holding a peak for like a month.
Yeah, that's a good,
like,
yeah.
He was like, it's okay. You have and he was like, it's a regional qualifying mark. And now we're just going to get back into training. I was like, we sure are.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose. Like, and they're like, and he's like, you didn't really lose. I'm like, coach, I feel like I lost. I feel like I lost pretty bad. I was like, so yeah, like now I'm just like, I have to buckle down hard. I just don't want to feel like that again. It just, they're like, even if they tell me it's good, I'm like, everybody can always tell me, but I just feel like, no, it was not. and so like for the next 4 weeks, I'm just prepared to like basically tear down my body and like restart it again, because I mean, I don't want to feel like how I felt at Texas Relays, no matter what.
So is the goal this year to make it to nationals?
It's to make it to that. It's to do big things at that. I want to be top 3 for sure, like guaranteed without a doubt. And like coach is saying, he was like a meter PR. I'm like, coach, man, I think I'm more than capable of going more than a meter of a PR.
19? You think you hit 19 meters?
Yes. I just know I'm not gonna like, and I don't like settling. So even I want to see how close can I get to it.
Gotcha.
And so I'm like, for how I excelled in the indoor season, how much they said it was like it was 2.9 something improvement throughout my whole indoor season. I'm like, no, I can't settle for just a meter. I want to get as close as I can to how much I improved in indoor than outdoor. It's a different ball. It's a different season. I feel like I should be able to do the same thing.
Awesome. So
in these next four weeks, if not longer, depending on what this training is, no, I'm gonna let it. I'm basically gonna become a new athlete again. I just can't. I don't like how I felt that day. I don't. And so if I don't want to feel that way again, what am I going to do differently? I'm going to train a lot harder.
Gotcha. I'm curious, besides praying and reading your Bible, is there anything that you'd like to do that doesn't involve throwing? Because I think I remember you got an eye for fashion. Don't you kind of like style and stuff like that?
Electronics.
And electronics as well?
Yes. So I have lots of speakers, actually. I have an Echo Show in here in my room, in the bathroom that's like right here. I have
wow.
I have a Dot. I have Bose sunglasses. And they have the speaker in it. And
wow.
Yeah, because I'm officially trying to get you. I'm like, I don't have my shades on. I'll tell you that right now. I'm so serious. I just have to. Sometimes I just need that little thing. So I put my shades on and I'm in. Like,
so we're
in the groove.
In the groove?
Yeah, they're my Bose shades.
Sweet.
This is a speaker, and you can. So I'm like, yeah, it's no way I haven't gotten in trouble. So
yeah,
there you go.
I love it.
That is pretty cool. Where did the passion for electronics come from?
Having everything at my hand, just knowing that if like I need to text coach, like if coach is all the way at the top of the stands, I can go in my backpack and just like shoot him a text.
Gotcha.
And stuff like that, or just being like aware of like stuff that's going on and stuff. It just, I don't know, it's just so much easier. And I need a lot of reminders, so that's
me too.
Any way I can get reminders is a great way. So
yeah, I love
cool.
it.
But technology, definitely, I love it.
Cool.
Well, I want to ask you one. It doesn't have to be the final question, but what advice would you give a high school girl? Because you've got grit, you've got that confidence, you've got that inner arrogance where you're like, well, okay, I'm throwing against girls in the Olympics. I'm just gonna see how close I can get to her instead of being like, oh my gosh, I can't. So what gives you that inside you, and what kind of advice would you give to a high school girl or boy to keep that confidence and that inner arrogance as they step into the ring every time?
Never limit yourself. Why settle for something that you can take a step to when you can go the distance? And basically distances only get further, just like throwing. The more competitive you get, the distance only get further. So why only stop at what you think you can hit? Go to like even if you think you can't reach it now, I mean, set goals that you can like eventually get. So when you hit them, it's like, I had to put in a lot of work for it. And like, success doesn't come without sacrifices. So if you're not willing to sacrifice, then you don't really want it. And that comes with like time, your emotion. Sometimes you do have to get out of your comfort. So like when I say emotions, like you can't just be like, oh, I'm tired. You can't. Somebody's always tired. And I mean, and the world's not going to stop just because you say, I want to get another hour of sleep. It's just not. Somebody just got another hour of like treatment or exercise or just something to make them better. So never settle in comfort. Being comfortable is dangerous because you don't learn when you're comfortable. Like even your biggest lessons come from like in those uncomfortable situations or a situation that you saw like was a bad situation. You learn the most in those bad situations. So I mean, it's okay to fail. Just learn from it. Don't set it as like, no, I can't do this because I messed up. No, like keep going. Now you know it. Now this time do it better. And if I just have to focus on like a female, it's like, don't settle for like what media has to say or like even what the guys have to say. Be confident in yourself, because at the end of the day, if you're happy with yourself, you can do a lot more, because no matter, you won't limit, you're confident in yourself, so you won't ever put a limit on yourself. You're going to set higher goals just to see, all right, now I'm on, it becomes like a step. You step on one step, you accomplish that, now you're on the next step. So eventually you're going to be on the like escalator that's super high, you know? I mean, and it's constantly moving up. So and always be willing to take that next step forward. Don't ever just try and be at, let me just stand back and watch or stay at the spot. No, take that next step. To put another step after that. Just keep going no matter what. And don't like try and go backwards. You can either stand still to learn or take a step forward and advance. That's what I want.
Ooh, I like that. Can we quote you? Are those your
words?
words?
Steal that.
That's
sure.
Awesome.
I know that did come from John
Stand still
Tipton.
to learn or take a step forward to advance.
Hey, when y'all were in Alabama, he didn't wear Wranglers and boots and that old beat up Sam Houston shirt, did he? They always wear.
Whoa! We beat up shirts. I got a new one on. You see our new
shirt? Talking about him though. Every time I see him, he's like on a faded orange. Like you can't even see the best anymore. It was like the shirt he got his freshman year and he still wears it.
What was he wearing? I know at Wichita he wore a white shirt with a bubble vest. It's blue jeans and boots.
Did he really? Okay.
Yeah, I know that for a fact. What did he wear?
You might need to help him in his wardrobe. So
man, he's got a different style. He sure does. But yeah,
he's a country boy.
He sure is. He just got a new hat. Oh my God, I had a bet with him last year. I had a bet with him. I threw 17 meters. I got his cowboy hat. I got his cowboy hat now.
Nice. So does he have a new one?
Yeah, he has a new one.
Oh my God.
So, yes, I did. And I got my cowgirl boots, all black.
Oh, do you?
But with a snip toe, with a nice snip toe on it.
Good. Well, maybe he's rubbing off on you a little bit. So
I know I listen to Cody Johnson so much now.
You
do you really?
I love me some Cody Johnson.
Country music, like I listen like 16 hours of it, and I was already listening to it before, but on that trip, that's all we listened to was country. Man, I love country so much.
Okay, all right. So on the opposite side of that, do you know the rock group Disturbed? Have you heard of this rock?
I know it now. I'll put it in my playlist right now.
Okay, so all right, before you do that, you need to ask your coach about that group. And supposedly, legend has it that him and his 2 college roommates used to lift in their living room and just blast out the apartment complex to the rock group Disturbed. And it used to be pretty crazy. So
they disturbing others and they a group called
listening to Disturbed. Yes. And they didn't have a couch. They didn't have TV in their living room in this apartment. It was a full workout weight room and stuff. So you can ask him for yourself and see what he says.
All right, I will.
All right, cool.
Put it in one of your reminders.
Yeah.
Sure will. Sure will.
So, well, Key, thank you so much. Girl, I want to say I've seen you, since high school, and I am just blown away with your maturity and how you've grown up. And I'm just very proud that you're confident in who you are, that you don't feel like you got to be the norm and you got to do it this way. You do it the way you feel fit, and you've had success with that, and stick to your guns. And by God, girl, go get 19 meters. Because if you do, I will cheer you to the heavens and back. So go be great. And we wish you all the success in the world. And, trust in John, because he's going to do the right thing by you for sure. Because he's a damn good coach and one of the best in Texas. So.
Yes,
sure.
he is.
Yes, he is. So. Well, thank you so much for being on. Actually, so this will actually try to be out tonight or in the morning.
Okay.
So we'll get it. As soon as it's out, I'll tag you on social media to get it out.
See if I can get it done.
And she can get it done. So appreciate it. Good luck next week. Tell Kevin and everybody we said good luck to y'all. We'll be keeping up with y'all. Tell John we'll talk to him later on. Good luck. God bless you. Okay.
Thank you so much. God bless y'all too.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Wow, just what a tremendous story. I've known Key since she was in high school and have followed along her career, and just where she came from. And, she was a tremendous high school thrower, but you always kind of saw that little bit of inconsistency and just kind of almost a little wild. And I think, God has his plan for her, and he put her in a right situation by going to Sam Houston State and put her in the hands of a great coach like John Tipton. Not to say that she could have been great at other schools. I just think that was a perfect fit for him and for her. And obviously the success has just been tremendous for both sides. I'm blown away with how mature she is and how her mindset is and her perspective on stuff. She's very confident who she is and what she's about and what she wants to do. And I don't think any stage is too big for her. And she's proud of where she come from, because there's been a lot of great coaches, from Coach Adams, from Coach Hicks, that's kind of helped her along the way, but at the same time too, she's, that led her to Coach Tipton and, country music and, and boots and stuff. And 3 years ago, I don't think she would even know who Coach Johnson was. Yeah. And, just don't limit yourself. Great advice. And just something that I took that John said is go big or go bigger, but we're not going home. And I do like that mentality, because in shot and throwing, it's set up to be successful minimal, and failures are a lot greater, but we live for those little moments of success. And we just accept those success and don't worry about the big picture of failure.
Yeah, she had so many great little nuggets of wisdom all the way back to when she was talking about it doesn't matter your size.
Yeah.
Like from back when she was younger, it doesn't matter the size. It's all about what's inside you. When you throw. She even talked about, it's about your name, where you're at, whatever school you go to, whatever it is, it's your name that follows you everywhere you go. And then the failure, build off of it. I'm going to probably misquote this, so I have to go back where she said, only time you should be standing still is when you're learning. Otherwise, you should be moving forward. So, and her advice to young throwers, are you moving forward? And if you're standing still, it's because you're learning. And there's a moment where you stand still.
Yeah.
And you have to learn and you have to make changes, but then you have to move forward. So all really, really good stuff.
For sure.
Great stuff. All right, let's thank our sponsors for season 5. Texas Track and Field Coach Association. Go to ttfca.org. Check out all the information if you want to see what went on at Texas Relays this past weekend. I'm assuming all there's got some
that's on there.
links up there to check out all those. If you're looking for some implements, fourthrows.com. Use the code TalkingThrows10 to get 10% off. Porta Circles, go to porta-circle.com. Use the code TalkingThrows10. For those of you in the Austin area, check out Ready Up Athletic Development. Follow them on Instagram or Facebook and at readyupad.com. And then go check out the Throwing Factory. We got Coach Knight, we got Coach Schmidt, we got us, we got Coach Charvis. Lots of things going on with track. We're in the heart of track season. So we always got lots of lessons, things we can do.
Hello, Talking Throws Texas podcasters. I'm Bruce Caldwell. I'm here today to introduce the Fiber Sport Discus. Yes, many of you thought I only made great vaulting poles. I have been bringing quality discuses to the throwers' hands for over 40 years. First as Cantabrian USA representative, then for the past 10 years as the Nelco Discus distributor. I introduced the yellow-plated discus for the plastic's best durability. If your Fiber Sport discus breaks, we replace it. Our studies have reached into the science of using a wind tunnel and adding microchips to the discus to find the spin, the gravity, the flight stability of the discus. We have found it's not about rim weight anymore. It's more about creating a balanced stability to allow the discus to fly and surf the wind. Our new Fiber Sport Discus is made to be selected to fit your needs, no matter the weather, no matter the conditions. Check out our discus selection guide at fibersportdiscus.com and find a dealer in your area that sells our fine product. Thank you, Jason and Janelle, for allowing me to talk with your listeners on Talk and Throws Texas Style.
And remind our shopping apparel on the Throwing Factory. We got some new stuff on there. Discount prices from female shirts to male shirts to hoodies. So anything you want to do look cool at your next track meet, go shop on thethrowingfactory.com. Also remind everybody too that on the YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to that. This and all our episodes that we've done previously in season 5 is on there, and then or in season 4. And then also too, remind everybody about Lifting DFW Human Performance, my pet project. Basically take a no-star athlete and turn them into like a 4-star athlete, or we can take a mom who's looking to get ready for a bathing suit season, or a dad who might be type 2 diabetic looking to lose some weight. We can kind of build any program to fit that individual's needs. So go to liftingdfw.com for more instructions. Thank you guys. We'll see y'all down the road.